In this video I'm going to show you how getting the advantage in the beginning of the game, sustain it, and turn by turn destroy your opponents until you eventually win. This is another 4-player fixed card game which is being played with public randoms. Settings: alliances on, balance blitz dice rolls in 60 seconds per turn. And this time I decided to add the blizzards as well. As you can see, we have one blizzard in the top right corner on Kamchatka, which makes for the North American player one border fewer to guard, and then the Australian/Asian player could hold Asia with only 2 borders as well, assuming he would additionally capture Ukraine instead of putting his troops on Afghanistan and Euro. Then we have another blizzard in Southern Europe which makes the European player to have 3 borders instead of 4, and the African player 2 of them instead of 3, in case he uses the Middle East territory to minimize his borders. And finally we have the last blizzard on Eastern Australia, which I would say doesn't really impact the game. So anyways, in the beginning of the game I saw that I have the most of troops in North America, so obviously I decided to go for it. The problem was that the pink player had a lot of troops in it as well, but I moved out my 3 troops from the Central America territory to make him the way to move his troops out from North America to South America, and that fortunately worked out. The pink player decided to be friendly and neither contest nor prevent me from potentially getting 2 borders North America. But obviously with me immediately capturing and successfully holding 2 border North America, unfortunately I cannot be as friendly as him, as additionally with the red and white players foolishly going for the same continent, I just have to take the game into my hands. It would have been dumb to not invade the pink player in a situation like this when 2 of my other opponents are probably going to destroy each other for Australia, so while they take care of themselves, the only other player I have to take care of is peeing. So as you can see, I immediately invaded the pink player into South America, leaving my army on Venezuela, so it would be impossible for him to recapture it. Then another army instead of keeping on Greenland, I moved 1 territory further to the territory of Iceland, so nobody could capture Europe either. And no Australia, no win guys, either get it at any cost or lose the game. This is the logic a lot of inexperienced players go with. They will rather fight for the same continent with someone else even if that could really make them immediately lose the game. As if you have around the same number of troops as your opponent, then you can never really know which one of you will prevail and which one of you basically immediately lose. But that's only assuming one of you got successful crushing opponent's troops still staying strong, as there could be a situation when you wipe out another player from a continent ending up weak, so then another player who had a bigger army near, could easily sneak in and take your captured continent from you. This time the red player got very lucky crushing white's troops, but the question, who is going to prevent me from dominating the game now? As Australia alone won't be enough to balance out North America with other players having no continents at all. So unless the pink player having a 10 troop set becomes a good Samaritan and sacrifices himself on me just to probably end up being last, it seems he might go for white. But phew, the white player with all 5 of her cards stays for me. So with me trading in a set and already being so much stronger than anybody else, I guess I will be able to guarantee having a total advantage for myself. I think it would be a good idea to crush this 10 troops army of the red player as well, so the majority of his troops would stay in Australia blocked. Alright, let's trade in a set. Unfortunately it's a 4 troops one, but no matter that, I still have to crush the biggest pink's army at the same time invading him into Africa, so I would still have a chance to successfully hold North America, as otherwise he could invade me and I would end up being with not as much of advantage as I could. So alright. I think I set up my endgame strategy well. It could be very hard for the red player to invade North America, but either way I would still hold South America, and after trading in a set would take out the pink player anyways. Having a lot of territories will give me some extra troops as well. But yeah, I think it's a GG. The biggest mistake which gave away me the game was the red and white player's decision to fight for Australia. Of course the white player added her troops here first, but by seeing that the red player was an experienced player who wanted to contest for it, she should have just pulled her troops from Australia out and let the red player have it. As we can see, the battle for it wasn't worth it at all, neither for the red player nor especially her. It just simply let me win the whole game just in 7 turns.